Right, I saw a brilliant film some few months ago, and I knew it'd be worthwhile just from the trailer. The subject is close to my heart, a difficult but important topic of abuse, sexual or otherwise, of young women in the Hollywood system and further afield. Stars Carey Mulligan and Zoe Kazan as these two journalists, Megan Twohy. Kerry Mulligan is married to Megan Twohy, and Zoe Kazan is Jodie Cantor. And I wonder if Zoe Kazan is related to Elia Kazan, who was on the waterfront in the 50s, and the director is Mira Schrader, and I wonder if she's a relative of Paul Schrader. Just the same names keep coming up. It's a very good film, and it shines a light on the abuse that goes on in Hollywood that can happen to you. I mean, Jeremy Chalamet and Taylor Russell at the Bones and All premiere, it's all very seductive and it's all very nice, but I think most of the time that's just the image, and this is the reality. This tells the truth about what can happen to you in Hollywood, and and uh, and it's about tells you about like Harvey Weinstein and how he sort of had meetings with people and he said, "Oh, I'm going to take a shower now and give it a massage," and crossing several lines, and he raped a few women. In fact, simply ghastly. Um, and But the Yanks, to their credit, actually did finally bang him up after it became so obvious after the torrent of abuse that was going on, and they did finally bang him up and for 23 years. Um, Unlike in Britain with Savile, who only came out after he was dead, So the Yanks, to their credit, have actually, you know, banged him up. And he was probably one of the most powerful men in Hollywood, and people were scared to speak out. But eventually, it was so overwhelming what was going on that it just couldn't be ignored, really, you know. And what else have I got to say? I mean, if you are in a meeting and someone's coming on to you and you think you're in danger, it's like an elbow to the face and knee 'em in the groin, because it's an emergency situation. And I know that in Britain, at any rate, you can preemptively strike if you think you're about to be attacked sexually or otherwise. I was taught that out in the self-defense class, and also Belt Barrister mentions that as well, and he's a lawyer boy. And I think sort of Twohy and Cantor are kind of like Bernstein and Woodward of their generation. They sort of like got the sources and they got the documentation and it all that. It's not really overtly political. It's more like sexual politics, really. But you know, and also what I was struck by was these women had signed these non-disclosure agreements, and this silenced them, and they couldn't even talk to their husband or their parents or their children. They were completely silenced, or else they would have been sued to, you know, buggery, and so they were completely silent, and and that really enabled the abuse to just carry on. It just shows you how bent the system is. And well, I know I've been abused by Americans. I went over to Huntsville Space Academy in 1989 and got felt up by a male student, and I didn't even think to report it. I didn't realise there were structures in place that you can report this and do something about it, and I just sort of suffered in silence, really. And I just thought, well, who'd believe me anyway? An English girl abroad in a foreign country against a male American student, just didn't stand a chance, really, do you? But these NDAs that they signed really enabled the abuse to carry on for absolutely years, and these women were just silenced and completely denied justice. But um, it became apparent there was such a tsunami of abuse going on that it just couldn't be ignored, and in the end it came out, and in the end the Yanks, you know, um, banged, Weinstein up for a considerable amount of time. But I think this is an important film, and I think that Mulligan and Cantor should have got joint actress for the Oscars because it's such an important film and it's shedding light on a difficult but important subject. Okay, thanks. Bye.